I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with the feeder flash for Monday, June the 2nd, brought to you in part by Macrocin by Bimeda. Macrocin is a bold, straight shooting tulathromycin injection that does what it's supposed to do for you, for your cattle, and most importantly for your bottom line with no BS. For more information, go to macrocin.com. Also, Joplin Regional Stockyards in Carthage, Missouri, going to have a huge sale here on Monday for the regular feeder cattle auction. Going to have 12,000 plus, and it's going to start early at 4 o'clock in the morning. They're going to have lots and lots of yearlings and lots of weaned calves. They haven't had a lot of calves at Joplin for the last couple months, but they're going to have a lot of weaned calves in this sale. Coming up June the 6th on Friday here, they're going to have a special cow sale and expecting about 1,000 head of cows for that special cow sale. You want to get in on that. And then on Thursday, they're going to have the primetime livestock video. So be sure to check out all those sales. You can watch every sale at Joplin on DVAuction.com. Die Hard Fundamentals. I tell you what, they're standing strong and nothing can knock them down. We started the week out, it was a short week. We started that short week with a false claim or a false rumor, an article that came out. It was very narrowly posted, but yeah, it was posted nonetheless. But it was something that looked like a USDA press release, but it turned out to be fake. But it was a US press release saying that screwworms were detected in the state of Missouri. Now, the screwworms may be coming up north from Central America, but they're still several hundred miles from the Texas-Mexican border, so we don't need to worry about them quite that much, but it is something that we need to stay tuned to and watch how they're eradicating them and the ground that they're making on that. And the USDA says they are making some strides on that, and they've got a good plan put together. But this supply and demand deal, it's really been a standoff between your packers and your feedlots, of course. But the packers have reduced their slaughter to just almost nothing. Very narrow slaughter. Of course, we've got heavier carcass, but the carcass is starting to lighten up a little bit too. But these feedlots are still current. So as long as they stay current, your packers can keep backing off those slaughters as much as they want, but they have to stay in business. They've got honors that they have to meet too, and on contracts on beef. But it is just really stayed strong here, these supply and demand fundamentals. And for the short term anyway, it still looks good. It looks good going into this summer, going forth. So we're still looking at all-time record high prices. Let's look at your board through the week. Last week, June live cattle, Monday was a holiday, of course. Tuesday down 67, Wednesday down 120, Thursday up $1.60, and Friday down $1.05. With June live cattle ending the week at $215.47. That was down just 33 cents. August ended the week at $209.35, down $1.10. Of course, your cash live cattle market was higher. But feeder cattle for August, Monday was a holiday, Tuesday was down 222, Wednesday was down 252. That false report was really taking a toll. But then Thursday back up $4.30, and Friday down another $1.10. But your August feeder cattle ended the week at $298.82. Up 336, and September was 297.70, down just 267. Your corn for July, excuse me, 444, ending the week at down 15.5 cents a bushel. Soybeans for July ended the week at 10.41 3/4, down 19.5. Kansas City hard red winter wheat ended the week at 5.33 1/4, down 5.5. Now your fat cattle trade up through Thursday at 2 o'clock, when those numbers have to be turned in to USDA. They had traded 46,100 head negotiated cash in your 5-area feeding region. Those live sales ranged from 220 to 236. That was $3 to $5 higher. Your weighted average on live steers was 228.53, with June live cattle at 215.47. So it's got ground to make up here. But that 228.53 weighted average on live steers was up 156. Your dress trade was 362 to 370, steady to $8 higher. And the weighted average on it was 367.75, up $6 and a penny. Now, for the most part in the northern plains, live sales 230 to 235, $1 to $4 higher. Dress sales 368 to 370, $3 to $8 higher. Southern plains mostly $2 higher at 222. But on Friday, Iowa sold a few more cattle, 2,200, 19,400 for the week. Live sales 232 to 237. Dress sales 367 all the way up to a top sale of 376 to a regional there. Nebraska sold 7,400. They sold 24,200 for the week. Live sales 235 to 237. Dress sales 367 to 370. And Kansas didn't sell any more cattle for the week, or on Friday. They sold a little over 9,000 for the week. Texas didn't have any sales on Friday. They'd sold 6,600 for the week. Box beef cutout values were higher, a lot higher. Now we're seeing a little rally right on cue with grilling season here, but choice cuts, the weighted average on all of last week's choice sales, 364.92, up 579. Your late Friday sales were another $1.40 higher than that at 366.34. Select, all of last week's select sales, the weighted average was 253.21. That was up 569, and your late Friday sales were another 340 higher than that at 256.65. All of that information based on 452 loads of cuts, grinds, and trimmings. Choice select spread on your weighted average was 1171. Your slaughter for the week last week, 477,000 estimated cattle slaughter. Of course, we didn't have any kill on Monday. Can't compare it to last week, but you can compare it to the same holiday week a year ago, and it was 62,000 fewer cattle slaughtered than the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Lolly Brothers Livestock Market in Macon, Missouri is going to have a big sale on Tuesday coming up. I was talking to Frankie Lolly there, and he's down in Houston taking treatments, but he was all business now, talking about the big sale he's going to have on Tuesday. They've got a couple thousand head estimated, actually going to be more than that because some of the guys are bringing in more cattle, but they've got 10 pot loads of yearlings coming in there, and I mean the quality will be, just absolutely excellent, and lots of fancy calves coming in. Looked at the consignment list, and they were all black and black baldy. Tell you what, check out Lolly Brothers Livestock Market in Macon, Missouri. They're on DVAuction.com coming up on Tuesday. Talk about your feeder cattle market brought to you by Specialty Risk Insurance. They are working to protect your livelihood. Your real-time index ended the week, after all your sales are concluded, at $300.66. That was up $1.80 from the end of last week. So gaining big ground, and it crossed $3 pretty easy there. It actually come down a little bit there at the end of the week. But your latest CME cash feeder cattle index sitting at 299.30. Going to have a big sale at Callaway Livestock Center in Kingdom City, Missouri on Monday, expecting 4,200 head for that sale. That's on DVAuction.com too. Your cash feeder trends at the end of the week, there was a very light trade earlier in the week, so to get a full week's test, it was a little bit tough. But late in the week, the same sales late in the week from the week before, your feeders were $3 to $8 higher, calves selling $8 to $13 higher, and just record-breaking prices still. Just about every sale you look at some sales late in the week and over the weekend. Mankato Livestock in Mankato, Kansas on Friday had 61 head 870-pound steers brought 305.50. Big time quote. How about Bluegrass Stockyards in Richmond, Kentucky? Tell you what, good sale there. 67 head of steers weighed 818, bring 316.20. But the most outstanding quote that I saw late last week or over the weekend in your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, come out of Crawford Livestock Market in Crawford, Nebraska. My good friends up there, the Robertsons, they had a whale of a sale. Had a pair and feeder sale there, but they had 67 head of feeder steers, weigh 850 pounds, bring 320.50. And that's your feeder flash for Monday.